Hello. Welcome to our channel, Top 10s You Should Know. Have you ever had a pain that didn't seem serious? Maybe it was a dull ache in your lower back, or a tightness in your neck after a long day, or perhaps that occasional chest twinge when you're stressed. In this episode, I'm bringing you a list that might change how you see your everyday discomfort, because not all pain should be ignored. Today, we're diving into the top 15 pain signals you think are normal but aren't. Let's begin. 1. Headaches after eating. Could be blood sugar imbalance or food sensitivity. That post-lunch headache or sudden pressure behind your eyes after eating isn't just normal hunger or caffeine withdrawal. It can actually be a sign that your blood sugar is spiking or crashing too quickly, especially after meals high in refined carbs or sugar. Some people also experience headaches from sensitivities to foods like cheese, processed meats, chocolate, or artificial sweeteners. If this happens regularly, it's time to pay attention. These headaches may point to early insulin resistance, gut issues, or even migraines triggered by diet. Don't reach for painkillers every time. Instead, track what you eat and how you feel. Because sometimes the answer lies not in your head, but in your plate. Number 2, lower back pain that gets worse when sitting might be more than posture. Lower back pain is incredibly common, so much so that many of us assume it's just part of adult life. But persistent pain that worsens when sitting, especially around the sacroiliac joint or sciatic nerve, could be more than bad posture. It might be an early sign of pelvic misalignment, disc issues, or even hip muscle weakness. Sitting compresses the spine and weakens glutes, which over time throws off your entire lower back support system. If stretching and posture changes don't bring relief, it might be time to look deeper. Get your hips checked, try gentle movement, and don't ignore the pain just because everyone else seems to have it too. 3. Chest tightness during stress, not always anxiety. Feeling a tight squeeze in your chest during moments of intense stress is often chalked up to anxiety. And yes, emotional distress absolutely affects the heart. But if this happens frequently, even without panic attacks, it might be more than mental. It could indicate microvascular angina, where tiny arteries in the heart don't function properly. Or it could signal high blood pressure spiking under stress. Women, in particular, often experience heart-related pain differently, with symptoms like fatigue, nausea, or chest pressure rather than crushing pain. If your chest feels heavy often, especially after emotional strain, talk to a doctor, because sometimes your heart speaks softly before it screams. 4. Foot pain, first thing in the morning. Could be plantar fasciitis or arthritis. Waking up with stabbing heel pain, like you're walking on a nail and watching it ease after a few steps? That's classic plantar fasciitis. The plantar fascia tightens overnight and inflames when you stand suddenly. Left untreated, it leads to chronic pain, poor posture, and even knee or hip issues. But some people mistake it for getting older and never address the root cause. Others may notice morning stiffness in their feet that doesn't go away, which could point to arthritis or autoimmune conditions like psoriatic arthritis. If your feet hurt first thing in the morning, don't just wait for them to warm up. Listen, because pain in the morning isn't just about comfort, it's about mobility for life. 5. Neck stiffness that won't go away. Could be poor nerve function or disc damage. Neck pain is easy to blame on screens, phones, or sleeping wrong. And sure, those play a role. But constant tightness, especially with tingling down the arms or headaches at the base of the skull, can mean more than just tension. It might be nerve compression, disc degeneration, or even early signs of spinal wear. Many people live with it for years, thinking it's just posture, until they start losing grip strength or feeling numbness in their fingers. If you find yourself cracking your neck constantly or struggling to turn your head without pain, don't settle for temporary relief. See a specialist, because your neck carries messages from your brain, and if it's blocked, your whole body pays the price. Number 6, pain behind the knees may signal vein issues or circulation problems. Pain behind the knees, especially if it's throbbing, burning, or accompanied by swelling, shouldn't be ignored. This area houses major veins and nerves, and pain there can be a sign of deep vein thrombosis, DVT, varicose veins, or poor circulation. DVT is a blood clot in the leg, and it often starts with a vague ache or tenderness you can't explain. Other times, it's simply a feeling of heaviness or warmth behind the knee. If you sit for long hours, travel often, or take hormonal medications, this pain could be your body warning you before it becomes dangerous. Don't rub it out and forget it. Get it checked. Because pain in your legs can come from your heart. 7. Jaw pain. While chewing could be TMJ or heart trouble. Jaw pain that flares up while chewing is often blamed on TMJ, and yes, that's a real issue. But what many don't know is that jaw pain, especially on the left side, can also be a silent symptom of heart trouble. In women, heart attack symptoms often appear subtly, with fatigue, indigestion, and jaw discomfort leading the way. So if your jaw aches unexpectedly, especially with exertion, don't write it off as grinding teeth or stress. Pay attention. Your body might be giving you an early warning. 8. Hip pain that worsens at night. Could be arthritis or nerve compression. Hip pain that gets worse at night, especially when lying on one side, is often dismissed as soreness or aging. But if it keeps returning and starts affecting your sleep, it could be osteoarthritis, labral tears, or nerve issues like sciatica. Unlike general aches, hip pain from deeper causes tends to radiate down the leg, limit range of motion, and keep you from sleeping peacefully. If you've tried stretching and nothing helps, it might be time for imaging, because your hips carry you through life, and they deserve more than silence when something's wrong. Number 9. Sharp eye pain out of nowhere. Could be glaucoma or sinus pressure. A sudden sharp pain in or behind your eye might feel like a migraine, but it could also be a sign of glaucoma, optic neuritis, or sinus infection. If the pain comes with blurred vision, redness, or halos around lights, it's time to see an eye doctor. Glaucoma builds silently and can cause irreversible damage if missed. Sinus-related eye pain often comes with nasal congestion and facial pressure. Either way, eye pain should never be shrugged off, because once sight is affected, the cost is too high. 10. Pain in the right upper abdomen. Could be gallbladder or liver warning. That uncomfortable ache under your right ribs after a fatty meal. Most people brush it off as indigestion, but if it's regular, sharp, or makes you avoid certain foods, it could be gallbladder disease. Gallstones or bile duct issues often start with mild pain that builds over time. Sometimes it radiates to the shoulder or back. Other times, it just lingers after dinner. If you've been avoiding avocados, eggs, or nuts because they don't agree with you, it might not be the food. It might be your digestion. Don't ignore it, because that pain could be your body asking for help before things get worse. 11. Groin pain. When walking. Might be hernia or pelvic floor issue. Groin pain that shows up while walking, lifting, or even coughing can be more than just pulled muscles. It might be a hernia, where tissue pushes through a weak spot in the abdominal wall. Hernias often start with subtle discomfort, not always bulges. Pelvic floor dysfunction can also cause pulling sensations in the groin, especially after childbirth, surgery, or prolonged sitting. If the pain doesn't fade or gets worse with effort, don't wait. See a doctor, because ignoring groin pain can lead to complications that require urgent care later. 12. Pain between the shoulder blades. Could be gallbladder or spinal problem. Back pain is common, but pain between the shoulder blades that seems to come from nowhere deserves a closer look. This area often refers pain from the gallbladder, especially after eating rich meals. It can also come from spinal misalignment, pinched nerves, or even early signs of heart issues. If the pain is steady, unexplained, and doesn't respond to massage, don't shrug it off. Get it checked, because sometimes the source of pain isn't where it hurts. 13. Ringing or pain in one ear. Could be TMJ, vestibular issues, or tumor risk. Ear pain or ringing in one ear, especially when it's consistent, can be more than just noise exposure or wax buildup. It could be TMJ, vestibular imbalance, or even acoustic neuroma, a benign tumor that grows on hearing nerves. Persistent unilateral tinnitus, ringing, is a known red flag. If you've noticed dizziness, balance problems, or hearing loss along with the pain, it's time to see an ENT specialist. Because your ears are more than sound receptors, they're messengers. And when only one talks, you should listen. 14. Pain in the heel of the foot, often dismissed until mobility suffers. Heel pain is so common we almost expect it, especially in active people or those who stand all day. But when it's sharp, isolated, and worst in the morning, it's likely plantar fasciitis. And if it's not addressed, it can lead to chronic foot pain, altered gait, and even knee or hip pain down the line. Many people try arch supports, ice, or stretches, but never consider deeper causes like weight gain, flat feet, or systemic inflammation. If your heels scream at you each morning, don't let them suffer in silence. Treat them early, because walking well today means walking longer tomorrow. 15. Pain in the side, when running. Could be spleen or diaphragm problem. If you've ever taken a run and felt that sharp stitch in your side, you know how real it is. Most people believe it's just a cramp or shallow breathing. But if it happens every time you run, especially on the same side, it could be related to your spleen or diaphragm. The spleen sits on the left side and can become sensitive during exercise, especially after eating. A diaphragm that's restricted by poor posture or breathing habits can also cause side stitches that won't quit. If this pain keeps coming back, adjust your warm-up, hydrate better, and rule out internal issues. Because pain that follows you mile after mile might not be a running flaw, it might be a bodily clue. All right, friends, that wraps up our list. The top 15 pain signals you think are normal, but aren't. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, and subscribe so you never miss another episode. See you next time.